on to game preview number 2. The 2-0 Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going out to Los Angeles to play the 2-0 Rams. Tampa Bay is coming off of a great win against the Falcons, 48-25. Brady threw for 5 touchdowns. Gronk caught 2. Mike Evans caught 2. Great looking offensive explosion from those guys in Tampa Bay. And the Rams are coming off of a good win as well. A little bit of a nail biter in Indianapolis. They beat the Colts 27-24 in a game somehow where Carson Wentz ended up with 2 sprained ankles. You don't hear that often.
Yeah, I was actually amazed. I'm like, I don't know how you do that, but that's impressive. Like, for all the shit like Carson's going to get for being injury prone, like, that is really impressive to sprain both ankles getting sacked. Like, okay.
Well, it's funny that it would happen to that guy. Like if there's one guy you would pick for it to happen to, you'd be like, all right, Carson Wentz is probably going to sprain both his ankles in the game somehow.
Yep. Color me shocked. Color me shocked.
Oh, my God. But Puma, since we talked so much in the last segment, let's turn it over to you real quick and get some of your analysis on this game.
Jesus. I was about to go make myself a fucking sandwich and cut the crust off.
Wait till next week.
It's like, why am I here? Why am I here?
Wait till next week, right?
That's why I'm saying. I'm going to put a poll up when we're done recording and we release the episode tomorrow. Should we do 2 podcast episodes? We'll do like a special Belichick Brady pod, and then we'll actually get to a game preview. So we'll exercise all the demons, and there you go.
You mean the Jay and Burg kill each other pod, right?
Exactly. I'll be like the host. I'll be better than Chris Wallace in a presidential debate. You know, it'll be a very well run, organized machine. It'll be great. It'll be like a BMW factory. Anywho, so the Buccaneers Rams game. So right now the line, it's the Rams. They're actually laying 8 point. They're at home. 1 point favorite. The over-under is 54.5. I mean, Tampa, they're coming off of a 48-25 drubbing. I mean, it kind of got a little closer, before like the fourth quarter when Matt Ryan became a pick machine. But Brady, 24-36, 276 touchdowns. Fucking hell, 276 yards, 5 touchdowns. I mean, Gronk had 2, Evans had 2. Chris Godwin, I think he had 1. I mean, everything was firing on all cylinders. I think the only person that didn't find the end zone was Antonio Brown, which naturally I needed him to fall in the end zone, but it didn't happen. But, I mean, it looked great. The pass defense for the Buccaneers is a little concerning considering the howitzer that they're going up against with, Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford and, get Cooper Kupp. I mean, Cooper Kupp is performing at a level almost ACL injury. Like, he is just on a whole other level. I think he ended the day with, what was it, Burge? Like 2 touchdowns, 100-plus receiving yards.
163 receiving yards.
12 receptions? I mean, the guy was a PPR machine. And, he's looking pre-ACL. Robert Woods is a little bit concerning, but I think he kind of came into the season dinged up. But Darrell Henderson, he might miss this game with like a rib injury of some sort. So like Sony Michel might be the next man up, but that's really not going to matter when you're going up against this vaunted, Tampa Bay Buccaneers run defense anchored by Vita Vea. And I mean, I'm gonna take the Rams to win this game. I think they're gonna win this. It is gonna be close. 54.5 seems a little rich to me, but I can see it going over just because of, like I said, how concerning the Buccaneers secondary has been through 2 weeks. And I get it. It's 2 weeks. It's, we're kind of overreacting a little bit in some of the games, but give me the Rams laying the point, and I'll take the over in this game as well, too.
Yeah, I mean, this is, in my opinion, I think this is a strong possibility to be the preview for the NFC Championship game in January this year.
I'll second that.
I think that I've been very high on the Rams since we started recording this in the off season. I think that Matthew Stafford has looked at home in this Sean McVay offense. It's nice to see him start get off to a good start with a team. I'm actually rooting for the guy. He brought it away for 12 years up in Detroit. It's really nice to see as a guy that I really would love to see get a Super Bowl title at some point. So for me in this game, the injury to Darrell Henderson obviously would be very concerning. I honestly didn't even see that he got dinged up. I have him in like 3 fantasy leagues, so thank you, Puma. I appreciate that. Looking at their game against the Colts, yeah, it was a lot closer. We can talk about the Indianapolis Colts and where they're at if Carson Wentz is healthy. I think, they're better than their record says, 0-2. So the fact that this game was close doesn't surprise me. In terms of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Falcons games, the Atlanta Falcons are an absolute joke. Their defense is so bad. Matt Ryan putting the ball on the ground in the air and getting it picked off. I was watching that game. Obviously, Jay and I got into a little bit of a beef during that game.
No
and
beef.
It was,
beef at all, brother.
Oh, it was a beef. Don't lie.
No beef. No beef
Watching
at all,
watching that defensive performance, and I think it was the second touchdown to Mike Evans, and watching that cornerback try to defend it, it was an absolute joke. And I'm gonna bet against Tom Brady here, and he's maybe paying the past. But I think that this game is the best defense that the Bucs have faced all in the first 3 weeks of the season, and this is going to be a real test for their what their offense can do. I'm concerned about the Buccaneers' running attack, with Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette there, whether or not Brady.
I mean,
needs
they
it or not,
combined. They combined for 76 yards on like 17 touches. That is horrifying. And again, that was against a very bad Falcons defense, but I could make an argument where, like, granted, the secondary's been horrid the whole game, but it went, like, exponentially worse when A.J. Terrell left the game for the Falcons with a concussion. At that point, that's when the floodgates open. But, Birch, back to the running game, and then you get the floor again. Like, 76 yards between 2 running backs on 17 touches is horrifying. Like, we can't... I know Brady's spinning the ball better than he was in the 20s, but... let's save some of those bullets a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that's my biggest concern is just the balance between pass offense and run offense for the Buccaneers, right? Like, they are just throwing the ball bombs away, and it's to the point where I'm like, maybe like take some of those like throws away and maybe run the ball a little more, right? Because if you're gonna beat the Rams and that like D line, especially with Aaron Donald, you're going to need about 120 yards from Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones, right? You get him 125 yards rushing. Brady does the rest. I think you guys have a really good chance of winning down in Los Angeles. Now, on the defensive side, the Tampa pass defense, it's pretty bad, man. There's a lot of concerns on that side of the field, especially with all the injuries in the secondary. They gave up a ton of yardage to both Matt Ryan and Dak Prescott, and I do believe Matthew Stafford is going to have some success exploiting this porous secondary. I actually agree with you guys. I think the Los Angeles Rams are going to win this game, and part of me wants them to win this game because I want all of this.
We got a clean sweep, huh?
Exactly.
We actually all agree it can happen. It can happen.
Well, part of me wants them to win as well, right? Because at the end of the day, like, all this 17-0 talk needs to go away, right? It's running rampant down at Tampa. Like, you can just feel some of the cockiness from the players as well. Obviously, Brady would never get to this level, but some of those younger guys took the pedal off the gas pedal on Sunday against the Falcons and almost bit them in the ass, right? So I want them to kind of get a little reality check, lose a game, and maybe that would really kind of amplify them. Plus, if they lose a game, they're going to be even more pissed off for that game against Belafraude next Sunday. So that'll be awesome. But the question I have for you guys is, and with how Tom Brady is playing, is this the best Tom Brady you've seen play football? Because from where I'm sitting, he's completing 65% of his passes, 655 yards, 9 touchdowns, 113 rating. The 2 interceptions he had was on a Hail Mary and on a Leonard Fournette drop. I mean, besides those 2 interceptions, he's played pretty much a perfect 2 games. At the moment, he's outpacing his 2007 season in through 2 games. He's outpacing Patrick Mahomes in his 2019 campaign, last year's Aaron Rodgers campaign for MVP. He's outpacing all those guys. So is this the best Tom Brady you guys have seen?
I mean, for me, I'm not gonna touch it with 2007 until I see it for a larger sample size of it, because they're gonna run into this could be the week where they run into an issue, like we're all picking the Rams to win. Who knows what kind of game he's gonna turn in here. I'd say in the last maybe 6 or 7 years, this is probably the best Tom Brady that I've seen. I mean, definitely helps that he's got that incredible receiving corps. Obviously, Gronkowski appears to be, back to what he was pre, the retirement there. And look out if he's going to be that guy again down there. But yeah, in terms of his over the course of his career, I still take 2007 as the best, one of the best quarterback performances I've seen out of any quarterback for the course of a season. Again, it's early in this year, so that could my take on this could very much change if he continues at this pace.
Yeah, I think he's trying to get Gronk that Randy Moss 23 touchdown in a year record, because I mean he's going to him quite a bit. Gronk's got 4 touchdowns through 2 games. Like I think they're gunning for 24 touchdowns for Gronk.
My question is going to be is if he can hold up for the full season. I mean, obviously, he played all of last year. Obviously, I think he was like kind of, he obviously wasn't as involved last year as he is right now. And Gronk's history with the injuries and getting dinged up. That's going to be kind of the deciding factor of it.
And I think they have enough talent in that tight end room to offset some of his workload, right? You got O.J. Howard, Cam Brady. I mean, those guys can step up quite a bit. But I was telling Puma this, via phone call. I think it was a Monday night or Sunday night or whatever it was. But the amount of torque that Tom Brady's putting on his balls this year, like I haven't seen that in a couple of years now. Like I've watched Brady enough now to know, like his throwing motion and this and that and little details that change along the way. But the way he's like twisting his hips, like I don't know, he's putting extra torque on the football. I don't know if this is like a direct effect of having your knee fixed and you can actually like put more torque on it, but the way that he's like using his body to like get the ball out there quicker, I haven't seen this in many years now, and I'm super excited to see what the rest of the year holds for him.
I'm gonna refrain from making any jokes on anything that you just said right there.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking lean into it. I was gonna say something, but fuck it. But fuck it. To hell with it.
Last thing on this before we move off of it, MVP discussion. I got Brady miles ahead of the other 2 quarterbacks at the moment. I got Brady number 1. I've got Kyler Murray at number 2 because he's having an impressive 2-game stretch. And then you got to throw Derek Carr in there for what he's doing with the Raiders.
For sure.
Yeah. Real quick before we move on, just the Parker's pick for this game, the Los Angeles Rams. Like us,
nice.
So it's a clean sweep.
All right.
And just one more point I want to make about the Buccaneers for this season. I'm seeing a lot of similarities from some of those middling Patriots teams that we saw, in the early 2000s, where they were very lopsided in terms of how they balanced the offense. They had a lack of a running game and they were throwing the ball everywhere. So they had a ton of regular season success, and then come time in the playoffs when you really need to have that balance, it went away. Obviously, Brady's on another level right now. Can he compensate for that? But I'm seeing a lot of that similarity with their running attack and the balance that the offense has. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, no, that was my first point. I just wish I saw some better pass/run offense. Just balance out. Just give the ball to Ronald Jones a couple times. Let Leonard Fournette run. That'll do them wonders. But let's move on.